Hi, this is Shane R. Monroe from Monroe World, and today we're going to open up the Google Stadia Premiere Edition. Let's see just how good Google Stadia streaming really is. Stick around. The Google Stadia. This is the Premiere Edition that they were giving away to YouTube Premiere subscribers, so I got one. It was free. It didn't even have to pay shipping. How about that? So this is their standalone device. So if you don't have a computer, you don't have a laptop, you don't have a cell phone, whatever, this device promises to give you access to Google Stadia game streaming service with nothing else but with what's in this box. And of course, something to plug the Chromecast into. So we're going to go ahead and open the box up. We're going to plug it into this portable monitor. We're going to set it up. We're going to let you see just how well it plays. Or maybe it doesn't play. Don't know yet. I've used Stadia in the past before on my Lenovo Duet. There's other videos kicking around with that. But this will be the first time we look at a standalone product. And I'm really kind of curious to get my hands on this controller, see what sort of quality we're talking about, and of course, see what it might look like totally without the benefit of having a computer attached to it. So let's get inside the box and see what's in here. I did open this box once to charge the controller. So that way we could do the video. And so we'll look at the controller in more detail because that's really an important piece of it. But let's see what's in the box first. Well, this should look familiar to everybody. This looks exactly like the Chromecast with Google TV device. In fact, the same little white bricker-bracker box here to go along with it. These look like they're right out of the Chromecast with Google TV. So again, we probably will not be using these for today. What else we got in the box? Oh, what's this? Hang on. It's telling me to pull and lift. Okay, well, let's take a look. I don't have any clue what this is. I'm sure it's setup documentation. Okay, so inside, go. So we have your standard health and safety warnings. This is a lot of stuff that we saw similar. And here we go. Getting started. Stadia Controller. Wow, it's a fan-out thing. All right, set up your Google Chromecast Ultra. So they want you to actually set up the Chromecast first using the Google Home app, which we're going to have to use yet again, just like we did before. Set up your controller, and then how the controller works, and using your controller with some different keys. And we're going to look at the controller over. Is there anything on the back side? Nope, other than what's included, which is the controller, USB-C, power adapter, the Google Chromecast Ultra, and the power adapter. Now, that's kind of funny because we thought this guy was the power, right? This is the power stuff that comes with it, we thought, as well as what comes with the Chromecast with Google TV. But inside this box is a great goodie, which is worth having this alone if you're a Chromecast user in general. And I'll show you why in just a minute. All right, so we probably don't need those instructions. Everything out of the way. So let's get inside. So here, of course, is the Chromecast Ultra. This should be nothing new to a lot of people. This is a fairly common device. This is the Ultra Edition, so it's a Generation 3. I'll just take that little off of there. And now you can see it's very nice, glossy. Considering it's being stuck behind your TV, who cares what it looks like? USB, looks like a USB, let's see here. No, USB-C. It's very weird the way that it's, that's interesting. The light dawns on head. So this power supply is actually not USB-C, it's micro USB. The controller is USB-C. So that's why we have charging cable, essentially, and we have an older generation Chromecast device, which needs micro USB, which is why there's another power adapter in here. But the cool part is this isn't just a power adapter, right? It's got all sorts of good stuff. Go ahead and just unwrap this for you. So this is what powers the Chromecast Ultra. I don't know why they make this so difficult. Okay, but check this out. This is a unique adapter. Check this out. It's got an Ethernet port on it. That's right. So using this device plugged into the Chromecast, of course I always pick the wrong way, plugged into the Chromecast, you can plug this into your network. So instead of relying on rather unreliable 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, especially if you're not in the same room with your router, you'll be able to actually plug this guy into a hub or a switch or something else around your house to give you internet access to this device. So now you're using full-bore wired internet with this, which is awesome. This is fantastic. These cost like 30 or 40 bucks, these types of power adapters with Ethernet. So that's why we have two different things. This does not power the Chromecast. So let's go ahead and take a peek here at the controller. This is what you're going to have your hands on the whole time. This is what you're going to be using. This is what's going to make or break the game. So I think this is really important to take a look at what we've got here. We have your standard shoulder buttons, triggers. So these definitely feel like analog, so they're not digital like a lot of the other cheaper controllers you might see. USB-C on top. On the front, we have your standard D-pad, 2 analogs, and they do click in. Your standard 4-button configuration, what looks to be a select. So there's various, these are a little bit non-standard here. And I'm sure if we went and looked at the instructions, we'd find out exactly what they were for. This one's obviously a Google Assistant, so you can use voice commands, which means there must be a microphone, probably right there, a microphone inside the controller so they can hear you, as well as a headphone jack. Now that's great. It'll be interesting to find out if a headphone jack also includes a microphone jack. We have a Stadia button, which is a lot like your Xbox button. And then we have a couple of utilitarian things here, which are like start and select on a regular controller. So let's take a feel for this guy. Now I've got large hands, I've got bigger hands, and this feels very, very comfortable. If you have smaller hands, I imagine this may be a little big for you. In terms of the layouts, I'm used to a more split analog, like for the Xbox controller, I use an Elite 2, but this feels a lot like the PlayStation DualShock. Your 2 thumbs are right here, where you would move out on either side. So a little bit different if you're an Xbox user or you're used to using like an Elite controller. But if you are a PlayStation person, this might be very comfortable for you. Buttons all feel decent quality. I mean, listen, this is not an Elite controller, but everything feels good. This is a 4-direction D-pad. This is important to a lot of people. Okay, and it's very responsive. Okay, so in all honesty, this is sort of what we've got to look at. So let's go ahead and get started with this. And I do believe I'm going to have to break in the middle of this to get some power for the Chromecast because I don't have a plug here. I was planning on using a battery pack, which I still will once I have the proper power plug for it. So a pause for the cause, and I shall return. All right, we're now back with the proper cable that I can hook up this Chromecast with. So I gave it a little bit of a charge for the controller just to make sure we weren't interrupted. Thought that might be good. So let's go ahead and plug this Chromecast in. Get everything pushed to the side. Okay. Hopefully there is enough juice on that power supply to take care of both devices, and we boot. So this should, this is just a Chromecast, right? So if you've used a Chromecast before, you might want to skip ahead. There'll be chapter notes that you can jump past this Chromecast setup. But for those of you who maybe have never seen one or want to go through the setup with me, we'll do it right here together. So let's go ahead and turn our attention to the screen. So they say to go ahead and open up the Google Home app on your phone to begin the setup, which I will. Okay, and so this will look very, very similar. So here we go, set up Chromecast Ultra. That just sort of popped right up. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And again, I get to blur my address. Great. And so what this does is it reaches out to the Chromecast. I believe it uses Bluetooth for that initially, and then it connects Wi-Fi directly to here, does its programming, which will then connect it to my network, and then shift my phone back to the same network. It all happens in the background, and it's kind of interesting to go back and look at some of Google's technical documentation that talks about this. So now it's saying, do you see this code on your TV? Making sure somebody else isn't trying to hijack my Chromecast. The code matches. Yes, I agree. You can do whatever you want. I don't want to share stuff. Where do you want this to be? I'll say it's in my office, even though we know it's not. And we'll go ahead and let it connect to my 5 gigahertz network, which is right in the next room. So what does this mean if you already have a Chromecast? It's already set up somewhere, or you have a Shield TV or something else that uses the Chromecast technology. You probably won't even need to unbox this guy. You'll be able to use what you've got going on. But this is a slightly better device than, say, a 2nd gen or a 1st gen Chromecast. So if you don't already have an Ultra, or you're not using a 3rd gen product like the Shield TV, then you're going to want to go ahead and use what's in the box. All right, so uses your account. Yes, of course. And notice in the background, it's actually updating, which is a little bit kind of cooler than what was going on with our Google Home. The Google TV Chromecast that we set up in the other video. Yes, Google partners, etc., etc. We're going to give you YouTube recommendations. Do you want to link radio services? Do you want to link video services? We're just going to go ahead and skip through this. All we care about is the Stadia stuff. All right, here's a review of what you have set up. Okay, cool. And it now is telling me that it's going to go ahead and update the Chromecast. Now, that was going in the background while we were doing all of this stuff, which is a very efficient use of our time. Maybe even a little more efficient than the Chromecast with Google TV we were using before. All right, so it is doing its update a little bit quicker this time around. It's actually not installing apps and whatnot as before. So we'll give it a second. Let's review in the instructions here in my pile of nonsense over here. Right, so we've set up our Chromecast. So we have to download the Stadia app from the Google Play Store and then sign up for Stadia or sign in. I believe I've already got that all taken care of. So now all we have to do is wait for the Chromecast to finish up, which it looks like it's almost done. These little balls are hypnotic. You start watching them, and they just jump all over the place. Okay, I guess I should have been considering putting some more juice in this controller, but that's okay. All right, hopefully the Chromecast is rebooting now. Ta-da! Now understand, for the most part, your Chromecast will always be plugged in. It'll always be set up. This whole boot process that you would normally do, this doesn't always happen. You're usually plugged in and you just have to tap the power on your control, or you wake it up or start streaming directly to it and it's just ready for you. That's how Chromecast works. All right, so it says to finish in the Home app, and the Home app says it is continuing to do its thing. So I'm assuming that at some point this guy will wake up. There it is. And do you want to set up your Stadia controller? Perfect. Yes, we do. Thank you for asking. Glad I already installed the Stadia app. All right. So it says you can connect a PlayStation or Xbox controller using Bluetooth or USB. Link a Stadia controller by entering the linking code below. So let's see. Is it saying for me to click it on this, or am I pushing this?
No. On your controller.
Hey, this is like I'm entering a Konami code here. Is that it? Let me refresh maybe. Looking for Stadia controllers.
I think now you turned it on.
Wait a minute. Turn on the controller by holding the button. Okay. Heaven forbid we read the instructions. Okay. Did that thing light up?
On.
Okay. It's on. So let's refresh now. Oh, there it is. Okay. Connect to Wi-Fi. That's kind of interesting. All right. So it is starting setup. And again, I've never set this thing up, so I have no idea. Is it vibrating? Yes. Yes, it is. Microphone privacy. Microphone in the headset jack, blah, blah, blah. Share my diagnostic data. Sure.
Have all my information.
You've got it already. I've already sold my soul to Google. All right. So connect controller to Wi-Fi. Enter the password for Monroe World. Well, that's interesting. So that device is actually a full-blown Wi-Fi device on its own. So it's trying to connect to my Wi-Fi.
Oh, I see. You're connecting it to your phone first.
All right, so now you'll choose where you want to play by linking your controller with the screen. Okay, now wait while your controller installs the latest Stadia update. This may take a few minutes. Blinking orange and white light, which you can see right here. They're coming through okay with all the lighting? All right, cool. All right, and then your controller will restart. So while we're waiting for this, let me answer a question for you that was on my lips. I did a little bit of research ahead of time. The answer to the question of, can I use this as a Bluetooth controller on some other device, like a Android phone or Apple phone or a Shield TV? Is this just a generic device that I could use as a Bluetooth device? The answer is no. They actually removed the necessary stuff inside this controller, so it can only be used as a Stadia controller. Very clever of them, actually. All right. Is it blinking only white? Not yet. So it says, after the status light changes to blinking only white, your controller will be ready. Oh, and it is ready. It's just blinking white now, no orange. Boop. Time to play. A blinking white status light means the controller is ready to link. After linking, use the linking code on your Chromecast Ultra screen to wirelessly connect. Okay, so do we have said code? We do. Y, up, Y, A. And it buzzed a couple of times. I'm hoping that means it's done its thing. And what's the word? Okay, so now it's launching Stadia there. Is it buzzing for me to do it? Was I supposed to hit something after that? Huh. Controller linked. All right, cool. From now on, turning on your Stadia controller will launch Stadia on this TV. It could take up to 30 seconds. You may need to link it again if you play on other screens. All right. So I think the phone's out of the... Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not out of the equation. In the Stadia mobile app, tap your avatar and choose Add Account to Chromecast. Okay, after you're done, you'll be able to play on this TV just by turning on your Stadia controller. Okay, no nearby Chromecasts are ready to add the account. So I'm hoping that it's already set up. Maybe. Check that again. Ah, there we go. It just needed a few seconds finishing up on the phone. So it's not a perfect process. And then select your account that you want to tie to. I am going to tie it to Retro Gaming Radio because that is where I still have a trial for my Stadia Pro. Okay, so it says it's adding your account. Check your TV. Your phone lost connection, so look at your TV. If you don't see a confirmation there within a minute or two, try adding your account again. So try again. All right, let's see how this works. All right.
No password.
Connect.
For you.
No password. No password needed on that one. Could not add your account. Well, let me try the other account, I guess. It's weird that the Chromecast does not constantly stay up here. I wonder if that's a problem. No nearby Chromecasts are ready. So let me go back to try again. Maybe add account to Chromecast. Nothing there. Like I said, unless it's already connected, but it doesn't seem to be. Is this thing awake? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Office TV. All right, let me try it again. I think it's losing connectivity or something somehow. All right, we're trying to add the account again. If this fails again, I'll flip back over to my main account, I guess. Check your TV. Lost connection. This is not giving me a lot of... not feeling the love here. All right, so let me go back to the Stadia app, I guess. Add Chromecast. It's just like it's not seeing that Chromecast. I mean, like we're right here, folks. Okay, Office TV. All right, let me try the other account. Maybe that's the problem. All right, connect to my account. Let's see what happens this time. Okay, so it was fine there. It must not have liked that other account. All right, cool. So you're all set. Add an optional security pin if you don't want other people using your account on this TV. So I don't care. All right, sweet. All right, so it looks like we're done with the phone. And make that go away. And we can spend our time on here. All right, so it looks like you can use multiple accounts, which is great. That way, if you have more than one family member in the house that wants to use this, you can. Chromecast is at max volume. Still too quiet? Increase your television volume. All right, so I will turn it up a little bit. Hopefully we won't have anything that will cause a copyright hit. Okay, so now it looks a lot like... All right, so it's saying to use my phone to actually buy games. I should be able to...
Press the A button.
I don't want to actually play Bomberman Land, though. That's what I just selected. So this is a game that was a free-to-play, or a game that came with Stadia. This isn't really what I wanted to play. So we'll go ahead and we'll launch it, though. Checking your connection. And it's going, it's going, it's going. All right. So, all right, blah, blah, blah. Now loading. How many loading screens do we need here? We were promised instant access here. We were promised no wait times, right? This is the whole point of this cloud stuff. All right. All right, so the volume's going to be a little low because this doesn't have great speakers on it. Yeah, this is all multiplayer stuff, and I would rather not get into it. So let's start looking at these buttons at the top, shall we? The 3-dot button does nothing. How about these 3-line button? Nothing there. This button? Oh, wait a minute. Saving a screenshot. So that captured a screenshot. I was going to say I just shot like 3 screenshots in a row. And then I also have the Google Assistant button, but I bet the Stadia button's what we want. All right, so now we can see our overlay, essentially, giving us our Stadia options. So it shows me, there's controller, connection, messages, start a party, and any of your friends that might be online. So it has a whole friend system, the whole bit. And let's see, if I want to boogie out of this game, I did not really see an option to do so. Maybe I just leave the game through the standard methodology. Is there an exit here?
Menu button, maybe. Hold it.
If I hold the Stadia button for a long period... there we go. Exit game. Perfect. I don't know. I really wasn't paying that much attention. Okay, so... Let me see. Stadia button again. So I should be able to see something more than this, though. I should at least be able to go back.
I think it wants you to buy things except for the given game. And it wouldn't be a Monroe World video without dogs barking.
And hence the dogs are barking. All right, so I'm going to exit the game again. So I'm going to go onto my phone, since it seems to be, this is where it wants me to do anything. Let's see. I have $10 off my next game purchase. Ooh. So my question is where's my stuff?
In the store.
So let me see if I can switch accounts. Because I do have another account, but I don't know if I can switch it in here or if I have to do it in there.
No password.
No password. And let's see if I actually remember the password for this account. I'm really curious, though. I mean, there has to be some way. So I guess that, unless you... I don't even know how to change accounts on here. That's the part that makes me even more curious, is how do I... So if I go here, I long press... here we go. Switch accounts. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new account. I'm going to change on my phone. Okay, I've already changed. I'm going to add my account to Chromecast. So I've changed accounts to the one that actually has stuff on it for us to look at. And it's, of course, telling me that there's no Chromecast nearby. And what, the Chromecast just went to sleep? Here we go. I'm trying here, guys. Hopefully this is the trick. Be logged into the account that you want. All right, hopefully this will work this time. Okay, I'm now adding my Review Lagoon account. There we go. Cool. Okay, there should be a lot more stuff for us to look at on this account. All right, now we're talking. Let's go into the Brundlefly account. Obviously, if there's only one game on the account, there's only going to be one game on the screen, folks.
That would be two.
And let's see what this account should have quite a few more things on it because it is a pro account. All right, so now, here we go. So now we can see the games that I have available. These are games that are available. I didn't buy all of these. So let's talk about how Stadia works from a purchasing point of view. GeForce Now, like we looked at on another video, allows you to tap in products that you have already purchased on accounts like Steam or GOG or Uplay or Origin. Stadia is not connected to any of those accounts. Anything that you want to play on Stadia, you must purchase again or for the first time. So if you want to play Cyberpunk 2077, which is supported by Stadia, your GOG copy, your Steam copy, those copies will not work here. You'll have to purchase it again, and they have a complete control over the store, so you will pay full retail price. There'll be no discounts going on. However, the Pro subscribers do get a certain discount on certain titles. So what you're seeing here on this screen are all of the titles that are provided to you for free, sort of like a Game Pass that you might get on Xbox. So as a Pro member, you get a handful of games every month for free, just like Game Pass. It's a smaller amount, and you can see some of these as we're scrolling through. And they're probably not games. Some of these you may not have even heard of. And some of them, of course, are some time-honored favorites here. But this interface that's provided to you by the Stadia Controller version is considerably more limited in scope. This essentially shows you everything you can play. There's no way to alter this menu. What you're seeing is what you got. And you can see these little Pro designations as well to show you that these are part of the Pro package. So just so you guys can see what the difference looks like, if you were to bring up the Stadia app on your phone or your tablet or any other device, there's a store that you can shop. You can actually explore titles. And there's a home, which looks very similar to this screen, right? So it says what you can launch and what you have available to you based on your membership. If we go to the store, let's take a look at what some of the store options would give us. Hey, look at that. That's not bad. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for $23.99. I think it's about the same price on any other store. So if you don't already own it on some other device, you could purchase it here, and it would be a reasonable deal. $40 for Red Dead Redemption 2. $52 for Destiny 2. That seems a little high. The latest game, Immortals Phoenix Rising, that's $40. That's a little high. It's going for half that price on, say, Switch and other devices. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's on sale. You can hit See All. So these are the things on the phone. So you might think that by buying this guy, that this box set absolves you of having any other device and being able to play these Stadia games. Not true. You still need the mobile device. So there's some new releases, top pro deals, everything. This is the sort of thing we've all seen shops that look like this. All games, add-ons for your games, free games. Well, hey, we like free games. So there's that Bomberman we saw earlier. So Destiny 2 and the Super Bomberman are the only ones that are free. There's some pre-orders, sports and racing, and so you go through on and on and on and on. So, as you can see, this interface is just a bit more bulky. You can also go to this mode and view it as two columns, which I also like. All right, but enough of this nonsense. So that's the differences in what it looks like. Let's see what the actual game looks like. And I think Doom would be a great game to actually test this, because Doom is graphically intensive. It takes a really nice machine to run this at a good high resolution with a lot of smoothness and frame rate. And again, what would a Monroe World video be without two barking dogs in the background? So let's go ahead and launch Doom and see how well it works. Okay. So Doom is now checking my connection. How's our visual on that screen? Look pretty good?
Besides your face glaring, pretty good.
No, I don't know if I can help the face glaring.
Hold on. I'm going to move over here. Get this glare turned on. There we go.
All right. Once again, we have the audio. The audio is very low. This monitor does not have a lot of volume in it. All right. So boot up screen. So I've actually got this on the PC, so I know, I've got a good idea what it's supposed to look like. So one of the things that makes Doom a really good game to test on here is insane frame rates and smoothness of the game is what's really important to the average Doom person. So we have campaign, we have multiplayer. This looks exactly like the game as you would get it. Looks like we have some bonus stuff there. Let's just go ahead and jump into the campaign. I'll go game slot 1 and we'll continue the game. And again, one of the things that I think is sort of a misrepresentation about streaming gaming is, well, it's instantly ready. You have access to your games immediately. Well, yes and no. It means you don't have to install them, but you still have to load them. They still have to do everything else. It's not any super faster than if you were loading it from a fast or decent PC. All right, so I'm going to have to come to grips with the controller because I'm used to using.
Is it inverted?
Yeah, it is actually inverted, which is good. But I'm going to have to get used to the throw of these analog sticks and everything else. So I beg you not to judge me. But in reality, we're not really looking to play this game anyway. We're looking to see how the streaming looks. What does are there any hiccups? How smooth is that frame rate? That actually looks really good. I mean, listen, I'm not a huge streaming gaming fan, but I have to admit they've captured the fluidity of Doom very, very well. So let's hop in here. Oops, what does that want? R3? Strange choice. All right.
Can't hear it through the camera.
No, that's okay. I mean, you're not going to be able to hear much anyway. But let's take a look. And Doom's a dark game anyway, which makes this even harder. So, Doom is a dark game, which doesn't really help a lot, but you're also seeing three levels of compression here, right? The game is being compressed as it's being sent over. My video is compressing it, and then you're watching it off of YouTube, and God only knows what they do to it. So we do have to give some, credence to that. So let's take a look around. And again, on this monitor, it's going to be a lot more difficult to see compression artifacting. But let's take a look down here. So it's actually telling you to press certain buttons. Now, on a PC, that might be the select button, or the starter select button, but on the Stadia controller, it's these guys. So it's kind of interesting. They actually mapped those buttons out properly. It's kind of cool. And let's see, we don't really see anything new down there. But let's just, it's kind of hard for me to see at this angle, and everything is so dark. Let me see if I can get myself up somewhere where there's some light. But we can see graphically it looks great. The compression artifacting is going to be very, very difficult to see with this level of high motion. Fire looks good. It's very smooth. The frame rate's great. I gotta commend them on the frame rate. Now, part of the thing that I like to test on this is latency of the controller, because we are fully on a Wi-Fi, and it's very difficult for me because the throw of these analog sticks are different than they are on the Elite controller, right? So I'm going to use shooting as my latency detection. The other thing to note too is that that the controller analogs, the analog triggers, don't have a setting like, say, an Elite controller does. So you have to have a full pull almost to get.
I'd say maybe about 1/4 of a second delay.
If that, I mean, it's very minimal. I mean, and the delay you're hearing, the firing is being done from just a slight amount of tap. What you're hearing is the delay from me getting it to the bottom and hearing the click, right? So if I was just tapping it, I would say that the speed is very, very good. I would say the latency is negligible. And quite frankly, to me, that is the worst part about streaming gaming is if there's latency on your input controller. And in this case, it doesn't look too bad. So let's go ahead and get out of this and see if we can find something a little brighter, because quite frankly, that's very difficult to look at, and try to get some sort of Let's see if I know any of these games well enough to be able to hop in and show you around.
I know a few of them if you want.
Submerged is pretty good. I've been in that game before. Yeah, so first impressions are good. We have there we go. Nice and bright and colorful. So my first impressions are overall pretty good. What I'm concerned with is streaming artifacting, dropped frames, lag in the controller. Those are the key things that any gamer should be concerned about. A lot of people are willing to read safety instructions. A lot of people are willing to let go of things like dropped frames or compression artifacting because they don't have to have an $1,800 PC to enjoy it. However, controller lag has got to be out of the question. I don't care what kind of gamer you are, controller lag just has to go. All right, so let's take a look here. We're going to go ahead and make sure that the brightness is high because of this monitor. Save and close. Okay, so let's take a look here at the quality of the video. What we have here are some organics with the clouds. I'm not seeing a lot of artifacting around the edges. The water looks pretty clean, although it's very difficult to see if there's artifacting within that. Let's go ahead and hop into the game here where we have a little more control over an environment that's less fixed than that title screen. And I have a weird feeling there's like a bunch of intro story on this thing too, if I remember right. But that's okay. Again, that's very fixed and controlled, and a lot of times cutscenes are overly compressed anyway to save space. So getting inside the actual game will be paramount for us to get a good, solid look at the streaming of the title. I would have loved to have had Cyberpunk on here because we looked at Cyberpunk under GeForce Now, but I am not going to drop $60 on Stadia so that you guys can see Cyberpunk, sorry. Yes, so here we go. Here's the story thing. Hopefully we can skip past all of that. All right, here we go. Perfect. All right, so let's take a look around. Look around with R, move around with L. Now, the neat thing is my cameraman is a diehard gamer as well, so I can always ask him to give his opinion. Not inverted control. We're going to have to fix that. Controller options, invert camera stick. Is that the only invert? Sometimes they have more than one. Looks like that's it. Yes, save. There we go, perfect. All right, so now we're going to run this girl around a little bit, get some brightness. So, there we go. So now we're out into the open a little bit. We can actually look around. I'm not seeing anything like, I don't see any tearing. I think everything looks fairly smooth. My cameraman, my son Bryan, what do you think in terms of visual quality and acuity? What do you think of the stream?
It's slightly worse than, a high-definition PC, but for a portable monitor, it's surprisingly good.
Yeah, so what do you think about in terms of the textures and things of that nature, the sharpness of the items in the background, things of that nature? In other words, if I had an Xbox hooked up and I were playing this versus a stream, could you tell the difference? If I were to say, hey, Bryan, guess what I'm playing this on? Would you say, oh, you're streaming that from the internet? Or would you say, it could be a PC, could be an Xbox? What do you think?
No.
You wouldn't be able to tell the difference?
Mm-mm.
No, that's good. And that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for a console or PC experience in a streaming-only solution. Now, for those of you who are wondering while we're watching this, I am on the highest tier of Cox Internet, and I have spent a good deal of time, effort, and some money on optimizing my network. I would like to point out that game streaming isn't all about internet speed. Google would have you believe that. GeForce Now would have you believe that. But the truth is, the speed of your internet only affects up to your modem and your router. At that point in time, the quality of your internet the quality of your home network can make all the difference. I could be getting jittering, I could be getting breakup, I could be getting all sorts of problems. Even though I have the fastest tier internet possible, my internal network may not be clean. I may have jitter. I may have all sorts of problems that would not necessarily make this as smooth and as clean as what you're seeing here. As I tell everybody with regards to game streaming, your mileage may and will vary based on many, many factors, and most of it has nothing to do with your internet connection speed. So keep that in mind. All right. Well, I don't know how much more we really have to look at this in terms of kind of getting a feel. This looks good and it feels good. I'm not feeling latency. I'm not fighting with controls. Everything looks pretty solid to me. Any other thoughts on this, Bryan, before I hop out of here? What do you think? So overall, I mean, the experience itself is utilitarian in terms of there's not a lot going on here. I mean, it's very simplex. It's very basic. There's not a lot of options that you can do without using a mobile device, which is something you need to keep in mind. And the variety of games that are available to you on Stadia are not as broad as on other services. And of course, you do have to remember that you are paying full price for these games, or you're paying the prices that Stadia has control over. You can't go buy a key from Green Man Gaming for Stadia. You can't get a deal on, there are some limitations for sure with this particular platform. But on the positive side, and this is one of the big selling points of Stadia and streaming gaming, is I could be playing this on my TV here in the living room, so to speak, and leave the house and go to my in-laws or whatever, and I could pick up my phone and start playing exactly where I left off for the most part. I mean, the saves and everything else, right? So just for fun here, let me see if I can start a new campaign. I'm just going to try to get in here and get to a save spot of some sort. I don't even know if I'll be able to get that done. But just to show you how that works. All right, I'm going to skip all that stuff. Skip. All right, here we go. Now this is nice and bright. Now here, I can definitely, and this is going to be very difficult to see on the video, I can definitely see a little bit of washing out of some of the textures. And I don't think it's the game, I think it's the streaming. And remember, this is the middle of the workday. A lot of people are probably at work, which makes, this is not inverted either, it makes me nuts. I'm taking a screenshot. The real question is, where'd those screenshots go, I wonder? That's something else we could probably look at, right? Controls, invert Y, thank you. So much better. No crouching.
The game controls are weird for this.
Okay, so, but again, overall, oh, yes. Oh, how did that feel? Not too good, did it? Press R to use binoculars. Which R are we talking about? Okay, R3. Interesting. That one did not get mapped out as well. All right. And R2. Tag the enemies with R2. Where is he? I don't see him.
He's underneath that palette you're looking at. Look down more.
I'm really having a hard time.
He should be there.
It's hard to see at this angle.
Oh, I see him. I see him.
Oh, there he's. Tag object R2. Oh, I remember this bit now. Yeah.
Right below. Like a little bit more.
Is that him right there?
Yep, there's two of them.
There you go.
Or if it's just him. Tag,
there we go. All right, cool.
You didn't tag him.
That's all right. They want me to do what they want me to do.
Tag him.
And the glowing pulley, which I did.
You didn't do the guy. You didn't do the guy on the left.
Oh, there's another guy?
No, right there.
He's tagged.
No, he's not.
He's tagged. He was tagged before.
There's another guy right there.
Where?
Right to the left a little bit.
I can't see this angle.
No, there, right there.
That guy?
Yeah.
I didn't even see a guy there. I've got a reflection here. I've got a bad line of sight. All right.
Complaints?
I know. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Hold.
L1.
Oh, that's not. Which is L1. There we go. Press what? R1 to empty. Here you go. You want me to shoot right here?
The red thing.
Right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is a cool scene. Just wait. Ready?
Sucks to be those guys. Bad day. Double kill, nonetheless. All right. So now the real question is, as I asked earlier, is where are my screenshots? Can I get them from here? And I'm guessing the answer is no. So I bet if we go back to our phone app. Let's see if it is obvious without doing a whole bunch of hunting around. What's this gift thing? Oh, I don't want to invite a friend, trust me. Home. Maybe this control. Oh, that's controller. No. Friends. No. Experiments. Wonder where it sent those to, huh? Explore, maybe? No, that's YouTube. That's just social media stuff. So where are my pictures? That's something we'll have to look. Oh, here we go. Captures. They're there. So, I thought I captured more than one.
Yeah, but it might have not saved it.
Clips can now include your voice. Save a clip when you're in a game chat or are live streaming directly to YouTube. Oh, so we could live stream, huh? Ooh. So let's find out what that looks like, shall we? Let's see if we can figure this out without a whole lot of nonsense. So if I were to, let me go ahead and get back into this game. I'm guessing somewhere on here, note, the Stadia button does not work while the game is launching. How clever. All right, how about now? Okay, so here we go. We're playing. And let's see, friends, start a party, form a posse. Let's see, can I choose? Okay, it says I'm online. Connection, messages. You'd think this would be easier. Okay, well I see nothing in there. What if I long hold? No, resume. Buttons here and here, buttons together. Hold down the screen capture button. Saving last 30 seconds. Okay. See in-app or in Stadia.com. All right. So I'm all curious how to do this now.
The menu, the little paper tells us.
All right. Well, heaven forbid we actually look at the instructions. I don't think the instructions told us anything about that. Let's see. Headphone jack, Google Assistant, hold to save. Nah, they don't give us a whole lot of info. No. All right. So maybe the Google Assistant. Let's see. Do I have to hold that in? Enter the assistant in the Stadia app setting. Enable the assistant, so I can't. Okay.
I think you have to do it through the phone. Start recording through the phone, and then, since they're connected to each other...
Oh, maybe. Let's see here.
I could be wrong, but that's my best guess.
Controllers. Switch accounts. Gotta
be in here somewhere. If it
so you would think. Captures this screen. Oh, so you can choose where to play, but that's not what I was looking for here. Add your voice. Let me see here. Maybe I have to turn something on. Let's take a look. Purchase and subscriptions, name and avatar. Okay, no. Privacy. How people can find you. Who can send you invites? Current game, games with your friends list. What does that mean? Games using your friends list. I see. So a lot of these games, it looks like any of games let you change a setting. Okay. Family. Okay, so that's like a family. Google Assistant. Let's try here. Enable Assistant button. Accounts do not match. Okay. That's probably because I was signed in with one and using another type nonsense. Dang it, I was really hoping to figure out how to do that live streaming.
Could always make another video.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a video for that another time. Last 30 seconds saved again. I was just thinking maybe it was a button combo
maybe
here.
If you double tap it? I meant the sharing button.
Screenshot. Too soon after the capture. Well, maybe we'll make another video about that. All right, well, listen. We've gone over the Google Stadia. We've looked at some games. We've talked about the ecosystem, pluses and minuses. So let's talk about it. Let's do a final wrap-up. Let's do it. So here it is. Game streaming seems to work pretty well. I mean, I was not disappointed. Again, I saw a little streaming artifacting here and there, but nothing to get upset about. I never felt like I was fighting with controls over input lag. Fantastic. The controller quality, serviceable. I mean, listen, it's no Elite 2, but listen, for $100 to get everything in the box, the Chromecast is $70. The controller, the additional power supply with the Ethernet plug on it. You get the month of Pro with it for free. So it's what, $100 for this guy? Not a bad value. Where you really have to watch out for is the ecosystem, right? There's no way to back into this ecosystem. You're buying the stuff, paying their prices. You don't get to bring any games with you. For some people, nobody cares. We were going to buy Cyberpunk. We might as well buy it on Stadia, and then I can play it on any device. However, if you have a huge backlog of games to play that you've already owned on Steam or Uplay or any of these other locations, you're locked out. You'll need to purchase them again. The monthly selection of games, the free games that come with Pro, not super impressive, to be honest with you, based on what I've seen in here. There's some nice quality titles, but so overall, I'm a little wishy-washy about the whole thing, to be honest with you. From an overall, would I recommend this? Would I say, listen, you want game streaming, you want this? I'm afraid I would not say that. I would say, go look at GeForce Now. Better pricing, opportunity to play more games, and you can play the games that you already own. And you can do just like this does and play it on whatever device that you want. So, there it is, though. I mean, look, we've taken the box apart. We've showed you everything inside. We showed you how it works. We gave you an honest opinion. Hopefully, you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, like the video, hit subscribe, hit that little bell and get notified of this, other videos like this. And as always, I appreciate you watching and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. We're growing, and it's all thanks to you guys. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Shane R. Monroe with Monroe World, and we'll see you next time. Take care. All right, so here we are. This is Shane R. Monroe with Monroe World, and my son wanted to take some time to play on the Stadia after acting as my cameraman, shooting my Stadia video. He would like an opportunity. So I've done some adjustments here. We've moved some stuff around, and you can see my pile of aftermath over there. So we've given the controls to my son, and we're going to see what he thinks about Dead by Daylight on Stadia.
Hopefully you won't need to set up.
If I was smart, I would have gotten a pair of headphones for this.
Could always cut the video.
Important safety note.
Blood, 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 violence, violence, violence. Is your kid old enough? Yada, yada.
Well, you know. And for those of you who are watching this video and did not watch the previous video, we've talked about the Stadia, the Google Stadia, and yeah, that's fun. We've talked about getting it set up and everything that we had to do. We talked about the controller in depth, so this video is just to have a little bit of fun and goof around. Not so much an official video, but a little B-roll almost, if you would. Accept that user license agreement.
Accept it. Now.
They own your soul.
Yeah, everything's going to own us.
All right, so let's take a peek here. The screen.
It doesn't look bad. Like I said, for a portable monitor, it's worse, but not to the point where you could have a distinct, difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, listen, we know that the portable monitor is a challenge.
Now the only thing is, does it queue us with people from other platforms, or does it queue us with Stadia people?
That would be interesting.
If it queues us with Stadia people, we could be here for quite a while.
Searching for match. That's a great question, actually, is if you're playing a multiplayer game on Stadia, who are you matching with? Console? PC? Who is it? Don't know.
Well, we could be here for a while, so...
Well, with any luck... will it actually tell you what platform you're matching with?
It should, yeah. It should have an icon. It's based off what they play on.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Told you it could take a while. It takes a while in general, but if you're queuing with Stadia people, you might not get a game.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, Google doesn't really release numbers as to how many people are actually using this thing.
Not very many, probably.
Yeah, well, you know. I'm going to say I can get up here close and maybe look at some of the detail.
Very blue.
It's very blue and fuzzy.
Blue and fuzzy.
This may not work out in our favor.
Blooper reel.
How long would this take on another platform?
I'd already be in the game by now.
So maybe it is. That would be interesting, though. It doesn't make sense to me, though, that Google would set up their entire infrastructure around this.
I wonder if there is a crossplay. Let's see. Online. Crossplay is enabled.
Oh, well,
Play
it's just...
with players from other networks.
Okay, well, you know, it's middle of the day here. Oh, it's ready. It says.
No, it says for me to ready up.
Yeah. We'll do it.
Let me try going as a survivor. Usually you can find games quicker. Not necessarily, though. There we go. See?
Well, everybody wants to be the killer, not the killee.
Didn't... There we go. So let's see. It looks like they're playing on PC. But I'm not sure since there's only... There we go. Very interesting. Usually that icon means that they're on PC, but it could be Stadia. I'm not sure. Personally, because I haven't played this on PC, so I don't know what others look like. I only know what it looks like from an Xbox point of view. Good thing to note is that you can't unselect in there.
Well, why don't you, while we're waiting for the game to load, why don't you tell them about the game? I mean, a lot of people may not know about this game.
So so the main goal as a survivor is just you got to get these generators powered up. You have to escape the killer, and then the killer's job is to kill him and put him on hooks to sacrifice them.
Oh, how fun!
So let's see if I or not.
So this is solely a multiplayer game.
Yeah, you can't play by yourself. You could do custom games though. You can get up to 5 people in the custom.
And the formula is always the same. It's always one guy's a killer. So this is a lot like Friday the 13th.
It lets us know a little bit about the killer, in which case it's Michael Myers, but they can't say that, so it's called The Shape in this.
Right. Well, you can't have that. That's licensing rights.
And unfortunately, The Shape, you can't hear him at all, so...
No, you can't hear anything anyway with the audio turned down on this thing.
There's a detection radius to let you know when... Yeah, the yada. See, it's saying a little bit. Not much, though.
So what's the draw to this game? You play this game a lot. What's the pull? I mean, none of my friends I know in my age group are playing this, but I know a lot of your age group is. So what makes this fun?
It's mostly just something that everyone can play. I mean, it's not necessarily the game itself. I mean, it's a fun game, but the only thing is, it's really only fun when you're the killer. And you can't be a killer when you play with other people.
Right.
But it's boring when you don't play with other people. So you got to kind of balance it out. But it's very repetitive.
So again, it drives me to ask the question, what makes this a fun game? I mean,
it gets fun, just, you know what I mean? Like, it's repetitive, like most games.
Let me see if I can take some light.
There's a mouse movement for here. That's interesting. I'm looking for invert Y, but
maybe in there somewhere.
Settings. Here we go.
There it was. Isn't that it right there?
Sensitivity is a little high.
You got to get used to the controller too, right?
So yeah, You just don't want to get killed, pretty much. You can hide in things, you can run.
Let's see if we can get some nice...
This is a natural dark game, too, so that...
Doesn't help.
But like I said, it's creepy. I mean, it's a definitely good horror game that you can play with your friends and stuff, so that's one of the reasons it's appealing.
Can everybody talk to everybody else? All the survivors can talk with the killer, or no?
No, they can't. The killer is in a separate thing. They can't talk with anyone. And the only way you can talk to other survivors is if you're in an Xbox party or like a Discord or something. You can't talk.
Oh, the game itself doesn't provide...
I don't think so. I haven't used it that often.
So again, since this is about Stadia,
mm-hmm.
how are you feeling about the input latency? How do you feel about the graphics? How do you feel about what it is you're seeing? What platform do you normally play this on? Let's start with that.
Xbox.
Okay. And that's a 1X,
mm-hmm.
not a Series X, but a 1X, because it's not confusing enough. So from a graphic point of view, do you feel this is on par? This doesn't look like it's a very graphically demanding game to begin with.
It's not as good of graphics as Xbox. I mean, you can tell the coloring, the...
Could that be the monitor, though? Could that be this little portable monitor that's causing that?
It could be.
But in terms of like the detail of the graphics, like if you were to go stare at a wall or look at something close up, would that level of detail be similar to what you would experience on Xbox One X?
It's similar, yeah.
Okay.
Not, like I said, not as good, but similar. I'm trying to find a generator, and you're right, this angle isn't the best to see things at.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
There we go. There's one right there. So yeah, see, it can get boring at times, but if you mess up, then you pretty much it's a giant buzzer that says, "Come get me."
Gotcha. So now the killer has some sort of
awareness,
a bead on you.
Yep. And like I said, I can't hear him coming, so I got to base solely off of what I see. Oh crap! Yeah. See, I've been exposed, which means he was staring at me from somewhere.
You can tell when he sees you?
Yeah, it's the shape. He doesn't have a physical heartbeat thing. And so, like in this game, when a killer gets close, your heart starts beating in the game, so you can hear. But he doesn't have a physical heartbeat tracer. There he is, right there, actually.
So he's coming after you.
No, he's got one of our buddies. You pick him up and you bring him to these meat hooks to sacrifice him. I'll see if I can follow him without getting slashed. Well, there he goes into the basement. And now he's coming for me.
I hear your buddy screaming there. It probably won't come out on the camera, but... Oh, yeah. Dogged. But one hit and you're done?
Nope, it's usually two, but he has a special ability that after he watches you for a while, he can one-shot anyone. And then you could try wiggling.
Very nice.
And then you get put on a meat hook.
So, you are of a different generation, right? So you have a different sort of insight as to... Would Stadia be a product of interest to you?
Not really, if I'm gonna be honest. Like you said, the game choices aren't the best. I mean, if it was like hooked up to... Yeah, just no. The controller feels weird. You saw how long it took to get a game. It doesn't take that long. So the connectivity between people,
like that.
I mean, for a free product that you get, I mean, it's not the worst. But if you had other options, like to an Xbox or something, obviously not.
But what if now you could go and turn around and play this exact same game on your phone or your tablet, or you go to a friend's house, you can get on his PC and play it while he's playing on his Xbox? Does that give you any change of heart on that? Is being able to move around like that something that interests you as a gamer?
Yes and no. See, like I said, what's the point of bringing it around if you can't even find a decent game? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, any last words? I'm going to go ahead. It looks like you're struggling on the hook, so you're not going to be doing much. Any last words about your experience with Stadia? Anything else?
It was okay. Not the best experience, but it was okay. I'm just going to let myself die.
Nice. All right. Well, listen, hope you enjoyed this little behind the scenes outside the regular camera thing with my cameraman being in front of the camera for a change. Hope you enjoyed the video. And as always with my videos, you have a dog barking. I'd hate to disappoint you. We almost got through a whole video without it. And so you don't have to. Lucky you. This is Shane R. Monroe. We'll see you next time. Take care.